Hi, I'm Daniel Gibbs.
Hi, I'm Karen Deloach.
This is Coaching 101, a space for growth, accountability, and transformation, where insight meets action and people learn to move forward with purpose. Ooh. With purpose, people. How are you, Miss Karen?
I'm doing fantastic. This is a very deep conversation we're going to have today because the topic is somatic coaching, healing the mind-body connection.
Yes, definitely. Interesting. And Miss Karen, before we continue our discussion for today, people, we have a lot of podcasts with Miss Karen, and please do follow us wherever you listen your podcast. We have Bible Verses 101, right, Miss Karen?
We do, yes. They're awesome.
And Coaching 101, which is a new additional for our podcast, which is we're doing right now. And what else, Miss Karen?
We also have positive parenting and love letters.
Yes, love letters is the newest one. Not the old. The newest one is a parenting, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, we are now confused because we have a lot of podcast creating people for you. But anyway, it's something that looking forward in each week, especially with my partner, Miss Karen Deloach. Yes.
You know, this topic of coaching is not new to me because I've been teaching and coaching for decades. I'm an artist and an art teacher and a film school teacher. So coaching is not a formal educational background for me, but it's just something that I fell into, and I started taking lessons from coaches, people that knew a lot about coaching, so I could be better at it, and I could really help people learn and grow and become all they wanted to do and be, and for me in a very specific arena. But coaching is really ultimately about helping someone reach their greatest potential, right, Daniel?
Yes, definitely. Our topic for today, we can also connect with our Bible Verses 101 because it says the spiritual life, strong spiritual life inside home is really not but this is accidental. Is it cultivated through shared habits and turn harvest toward God or toward one another? Among those habits is praying together or ensured, which is it's a habit. If you are a coach, you need to help to your customer to have this habit so that your communication together is more secure, more have this rapport, right? It's rooted together.
I agree. I don't think you really can get the healing and reach your potential without it, with avoiding the spiritual connection of a human being. We're not just what you see. We're not just the physical. So we're connecting the mind, which is part of your soul, your emotions, and with your body, because your body can respond to what's going on in your soul and in your spirit. And it actually is very, very true that a lot of things that happen and seem to manifest in our body are because of things that are going on deeper inside of us. Can I share a little bit of a story about this?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Miss Karen.
Yeah. So I was raised, excuse me. I have a piece of, sorry about that.
No worries.
Anyway, I was brought up by a Marine father and a Scandinavian mother.
Okay.
Now, they were born and raised during the Great Depression. Now, that is obviously causing me to have some emotion here. And the emotion is causing me to cough. I'm sorry. I'm having a reaction. Now, my father was raised in a religion that he became very disillusioned of because of sexual abuse, and he denied the existence of God because of that abuse. My mother, for her religion, was part of her culture. It was something you did because you were Norwegian.
Mm-hmm.
I was the firstborn. So I was the experiment, right? They decided to raise me to be independent and not need God. And for my father, he even was an atheist. He declared there was no spirit world at all. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because we're talking about somatic coaching, where you're talking about your body responding. And here I just had this huge reaction to this whole subject because it shaped and formed my childhood of trying to be so independent, to not need God, to not even believe his existence. And we weren't allowed to show emotion, and we weren't allowed to complain. We weren't allowed to be sick. I remember being told, stop coughing, like you can control it, right? I even became a teenage gymnast, which is a very exacting and perfectionistic type of personal sport. You can have a team, but really it's just you and that apparatus standing in front of the judges as you perform, right? Well, I sprained my ankle training for the Junior Olympics. I qualified for the regional Junior Olympics, and I got to go. And I decided that I was going to go even if I have a sprained ankle. And sure enough, on a dismount from the uneven bars, I sprained my ankle again. And I had already placed doing vaulting, and I wouldn't get my medal if I didn't complete the competition with the sprained ankle, swollen about this big around. But that Marine father, you don't complain, you just do it, right? And I did, and I got my medal, and I had a swollen ankle for years. And it's still not perfect, trust me. But that was all from being raised to not share what's really going on inside. I became very good at hiding, and I was an actor because I could put on these masks of being happy and put on these masks of not having any pain, whether it was emotional pain or physical pain. And I even minored in theater and did a lot of it, but I was always wearing a mask. And it wasn't until getting someone to coach me to say, let's look at what really is happening when you take those masks off. I didn't know I had so much pain underneath. I didn't know it was affecting my body. I didn't realize that I had cut off pain, so I cut off sensitivity. We were made to have five senses, right? To feel and see and touch and taste and smell. And I didn't have a very good ability to do that. I couldn't smell very well. I couldn't taste very well. Couldn't see very well. And these were affected by all this emotional pain that had been repressed, not just physical, but emotional. It wasn't until coming to the body of Christ that I could feel safe enough to start letting the masks come off so that I could be seen. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I was desperate to be truly loved, but if you don't show yourself, how do you know you're loved? Because nobody could love you. God couldn't even love you because he sees everything inside. He knows what's there. He knows you aren't really lovable. I didn't believe I was. And that kind of emotional dependency did affect my first marriage. Very much so. That emotional unhealthiness was because I was so unself-aware. But God, he led me into healing emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm telling you, it didn't happen overnight. It's been a long process. I needed somatic coaching. Because guess what? At its core, somatic coaching helps individuals cultivate awareness of their bodily sensations while empowering them to make better conscious choices. So, this is something that I had to learn.
Very well said, Miss Karen, and thank you for sharing that story to the world. People effective coaching begins with the direction without divine destination. Effort becomes scattered and progress difficult to measure. Goals provide orientation for both coach and client. They transform conversation into movement. Clarity becomes, I think, the starting advantage for a good coaching.
Somatic coaching does differ from other types of coaching in its techniques. It wants the client to tap into the wisdom of the body, the very thing that I had been cutting off all my life to foster this mind body connection. I know in the former Olympics, were in not this last year, but the year before, Simone Biles, literally the best gymnast, not only in America, but in the world, had an emotional breakdown. And it was because of this same type of thing, with this disconnect emotionally from what was going on physically. And that, there had been a lot of expose of a doctor that had been molesting our elite gymnasts for a very long time. And she was one of the whistleblowers in the case against that doctor. And here in this biggest event of her young career, she had an emotional breakdown. But the other teammates, they understood what she was going through because she needed somatic coaching and healing to happen for her. Fortunately, she got it and she came back this next time to prove that she is the greatest. So, those of us that are not so talented as a Simone Biles, we need it too.
And working goal must be a meaningful to a client too, right, Miss Karen?
Yeah.
External pressure rarely sustain long-term action. Motivation depends when objectives connect to identity and values. And people persist for reasons that feel personal. Ownership fuels endurance. And people, it depends to your customer too. Our first statement is saying that you need to pray each other, but if your customer is not a religious, well, check if the customer is good for him, right? It's not just like, okay, we need to pray before we do the coaching, but if the your client is not a Christian or whatever, well, please align with your client belief or something else.
Yeah, it's good. The mind, when they're saying the mind body connection, the mind is also the will and the emotions. Our mind, will, and body are all part of our soul, connected to our spirit. And this somatic coaching is recognizing that our bodies aren't just running by themselves. They've got emotions and a mind and a will and a spirit behind it. It's the cornerstone that supports all the other aspects of somatic coaching. um, it's supports the concept that our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs have a direct impact on our physical sensations and health. So our physical states can influence our mental and emotional well-being. They work together. And when you have a coaching that maybe is only about one thing, it doesn't incorporate the whole being, the whole person. And that's what this type of coaching is trying to do. Get you to feel your body, really examine what's going on with your emotions and your mind at the same time.
Mhm. At the same time, people time boundaries also convert intention into a commitment. Someday thinking delays transformation, deadlines introduce constructive urgency. They help prioritize energy. Action becomes scheduled rather than imagined. So respect the time, people. If you say to your client that we need to meet this time, you need have to respect the time and do the necessary things that you do. And
You know,
also, yes,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, Miss Karen. Go ahead, Miss Karen.
So, what you see happening with somatic coaching a lot of times is something called mindful movement. I'm like, what's mindful movement? It's a practice to bring, non-judgmental attention to what your body's sensation, to your breathing, to your alignment. And there are a lot of exercises. So someone like me that was shut down, I'm all about aerobics and, big dancing things because you have to keep moving, right? But this is just the opposite. It's very purposeful movement. It's slowing things down. It's letting your awareness be what's happening and how it feels. So more like yoga and tai chi or pilates, stretching, mindful walking or running, really being in the moment. And I know as an artist, I can promise you, as I've studied right brain, left brain, and the interactions and the neural connections, to get into your right brain is your most creative self. And when you purposely notice the moment that you're in, whether it's a beautiful sunset or beautiful weather or the sound of birds chirping or flowers starting to bloom, when you are mindfully in that moment, you are doing your body so much good and your soul so much good, and your mind is working on all cylinders when you do that.
Mm, certainly. Yes. Definitely agree with you, partner. And, well, human beings do not merely think their lives inherit in them, right? So, somatic coaching is something that every commitment, fear, and belief has psychological signature.
Mm.
Begins by observing those signatures, and body becomes a data, awareness becomes the intervention, as Miss Karen talking about the movements and like many more.
Yeah, it's very purposeful, and it works with flexibility, balance, things that are really good for you, especially in a lot of times my age group, or if you've had any problems. But it helps you be more healthful, and it reduces the stress that can affect your body, and helps you have better body alignment. So this type of coaching, it isn't just about your past or healing from traumas. This is about really being more conscious of your body in space right here and right now. And a lot of these somatic um, coaches have all these wonderful mind body connection exercises that they have people do, including focused breathing, um, uh, gentle touch, and really trying to help the client, like me, like I was very shut down, be unshut down, waking my senses up to be more aware. And sensuality in a righteous way is the way we were created to be, is being sensitive, because then we can see our world and know our world and experience our world in a healthier way.
Yeah, speaking of breathing, people, breathing patterns mirror emotional stance, altering rhythms and depth can rapidly influence physiology. Coaches use this breath to create stability and presence, and the clients experience immediate feedback for sure.
That's good. Immediate feedback, because you're in the here and now. So you start learning to trust the wisdom of your body. If your body says, I'm really tired, don't stay up watching another episode, go to bed. Listen to your body, be wise
Mhm.
about it. And it causes a strength. As you start listening and paying attention to what your body is telling you, then you're going to have more autonomy in your system. You're going to be more independent and healthier. And so this is as I learned more about somatic healing and somatic coaching, I understood more of what I needed, which is why I started out with this story. An example, I was probably more of extreme shutdown than a lot of people are, but I know that so many people, including my own daughter, has gotten us so much out of doing yoga, which she's kind of hyper like me. And so she could learn to slow down and be more mindful and listen to her body and soul. And you can listen to Holy Spirit too when you're quieter and more still.
Indeed, people. Somatic coaching reminds us that lasting change is not achieved by insight alone, but recognizing how life is lived through the body. When your clients learn to notice posture, tension, and rhythm, they gain access to mechanics beneath behavior. Awareness opens to the door to choice, and choice builds agency. Over time, new patterns feel natural rather than forced. Growth becomes sustainable because it is practiced at the level of being.
That's really good, Daniel. That's very good. As we recognize the effects of stress and anxiety, we learn to be more about self-care. Just like when you're on an airplane and they drop those masks that you're supposed to put it on yourself before you put it on someone else so that you can be a better caregiver. Well, guess what? As a parent, as a grandparent, you want to be healthy so that you can help others be healthy.
Very well said, Miss Karen. And again, would you like to plug in our podcast?
I am so happy to do that, Daniel, because it is a privilege to do these with you. We've got love letters, which Daniel's been doing for quite a few years, getting letters from our listeners to help us to find answers for relationship issues. And trust me, we do take those very seriously and work hard to give the best wisdom we know how. We also have one called Bible Verses 101, where we share scripture that has personal meaning and deep, deep impact for our lives. And a new one called Positive Parenting that we're just putting together to help us be better parents, all of us.
Yes, definitely. Please do listen to us, people. Our Coaching 101 is already live wherever you listen your podcast, as well our Bible Verses 101 and Love Letters. Except for the Positive Parenting, it will be published next month because we are, putting more episodes together. And then we publish it, but we're live every Saturday. We're live, people, so please support us, watch us while we are not yet published on podcast itself. But Ms. Karen, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my privilege. I thank you so much. And listeners, we love you, and God bless you, one and all.
What up, people? See you soon.